Okay, lots of problems, so I'm going to jump right in and try to speed this along, okay? This is number 1, and I'm going to look for what reduces first. And I'm noticing I can cancel the p squareds on the corner and the p cubes on that diagonal. 3 and 17, no luck, but 2 does go into 20 twice. Or, I'm sorry, 10 times. So now I multiply the numerator on whatever's left in the denominator, and that'll do it. That is your final answer. Okay, number 2 is 20 over 14 times 12p over 2. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and cancel those out. Let me reduce these by 2 as well. So that's a 6 and that's a 7. And that should be it. The p won't cancel, so it'll be a 60p over a 7, and nothing else goes into those two. Number 3. 5b over 3 times 7 over 13. Nobody cancels. This is the dreaded scenario of no one cancels, so you get to multiply it all out. Yay! Number 4, 5p over, what is this, 6p. Okay, it says divided by. I'm going to go ahead and call that a multiply, and I'm going to flip my denominator and numerator as I'm copying it just to save a little time, okay? And now what I can do is, these are gone, p, 5 goes into itself once, and it goes into 24 times. This p can cancel out one of them on the bottom, and now the only thing left is a 7 on top and a 24p in the denominator. Number 5. I've got n minus 2, I've got n plus 4. So somebody was nice and totally already factored this mess for you just to save you some time. So this just becomes a fun game of canceling what can cancel. Those match exactly. They are gone. N plus 4 is gone. And now I only have an n minus 2 over a 3. Number 6. Same thing. They have given you a lot already factored. The only trick on this one is if you did not notice that that was a division, you would have not flipped, and then it would jack everything up. So just make sure that you saw that. And then it becomes, you flip, and what happens? A lot of stuff goes away. X minus 5, X minus 5. X plus 1, X plus 1. And you're not going to like this little trick I'm about to do, but I'm about to do it. These are going to cancel, and here's why. I am going to factor this one. I'm going to take a negative 1 out of this. And if I take a negative 1 out, guys, it becomes a negative 5 plus x, which isn't that the same exact thing as that? It's just been flip-flopped. So if you sometimes you can get creative. Factor out a negative 1, then those will also cancel, okay? Which means I'm only left with an x plus 4 on top, and on the bottom, a negative 1, which means the whole thing is a negative. So I'm going to write my answer like that. Number 7 is going to be, same thing, I'm going to flip this as I write it. 40x squared minus 4x cubed, okay, times. Alright, so what can I do? Looks like in the denominator here, I'm going to take out a 4x squared, which means this will be a 10 minus an x, okay? So all of that's gone, and I wrote it that way, okay? Now, what's the good in that? Well, it's the same trick as the one before. See how similar these look? These are the same thing if you take a negative 1 out of one of them. So I'm going to take a negative 1 out of this one, and then they will match, and then I will cross them out. So the only thing left on top is x plus 4, and 7 times that is a negative 28x squared. That would be my final answer. These I'm thinking a lot of people missed, number 6 and 7, because that's a nasty trick, and we can talk more about that in tutoring if you like, but that will show up a lot in Algebra 2, and a lot of kids miss it. But you won't. Okay, so same thing. I flipped as I wrote, And now I'm going to try to factor some stuff. So let's see. It looks like I can take a 10 out of this, which makes it a b plus 8. Okay? So I just factored it. Now the good for that is now I can cancel this b plus 8 and this b plus 8. I can cancel the 10 over the 10, and this whole thing turns into a 2b. Number 9. N minus 1. I'm going to stick that over 1 times, and I'm going to factor as I go. I'm going to take an 8 out of that. I'm going to take an 8n out of the bottom, which does that for me. Okay, so hopefully you noticed that if you factored those, you should have this. These will now cancel. The 8's will now cancel, and it'll leave me with n minus 4 over n. And no, you cannot cancel those out because this guy has a minus on it. Okay? Number 10, m minus 2 over m plus 5 times, same thing, I'm going to factor as I go. Actually, I'm a liar because that looks hard to factor. Let me see. I'm actually going to take a negative 1 out right in the beginning. And if I take a negative 1 out, I can rewrite this way, where I just change all of the signs. That's going to be easier for me to factor. I'll keep the negative. And then when I look at this now, it's just easier because now I know that it's probably 5 and 10. And then I just have to figure out my signs. So it's going to be a minus 10 and a plus 5. That should work. Okay. And that's good because now I can cancel m minus 10, m minus 10, m plus 5, m plus 5. And the only thing left is this on top. Oh wait, there is a negative out here. That is still left. So I need to make sure I still copy that negative. And now nothing's on the bottom. So that's your final answer. Alright, number 11. I'm going to factor this as I go. It looks like it's an n minus 10. Yeah. N minus 10 times n minus 1. That should work. On the bottom, I'm going to take an 8 out. Number 11. Okay, this is a division, so I need to multiply by the reciprocal. So the 5n minus 40 goes on top, but I'm going to go ahead and factor that. And then on the bottom is an n minus 8. Cool. Now, can we cancel? Okay, these are definitely gone. And these match exactly. So I'm left with 5 times n minus 10 over 8. And nothing else reduces. Number 12. I like these. I like the multiply divide. You're about to hear me get angry at the bottom. Those just take too long. Okay, let me take out a 7r squared, which means I will have an r plus a 9 over, on this one, yikes, 19. Oh, is that just 9 and 10? Haha. R plus 9, r plus 10 times r. And if you look at these problems, a lot of times you have a hint as to how to factor, because a lot of times the same junk shows up in the problem. So does this factor 30 and 11, is that 6 and 5? 6 plus 5. Okay, cool. So I factored what I could, and let me see if I can cancel something. So gone, 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 gone. Nothing else cancels. So 7r squared over r plus 5 times r plus 6. Cool. All right, number 13. I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I know y'all have already looked at this. They have the same denominator. Hallelujah. And so since they have the same denominator, I just need to combine like terms on the top. And this is what you should have. Number 14, they already have a common denominator. And so same thing, combine what's on top. So that's a 2m, that's it. Okay, now I can actually simplify or reduce this because there's no plus or minus anywhere. So I can cross out one of these m's with one of the m's on the bottom. And that is actually my final answer on 14. 15. They do have a common denominator, 30x to the 4th y, okay? So I just need to put the numerators together. So we've got a 3x and we've got plus 5y. Now nothing factors and nothing can cancel because there's a plus sign up here, so you're finished. Number 16, there's a minus, but they already have a common denominator. So since they already, 6b squared a cubed, okay, since they already have a common denominator, I'm just going to take the a, and then I've got plus 3b minus 2b. So it should look like that for a final answer. 17. Alright, now they do not match, so there is no common denominator. So on these problems, that was a minus, okay. So on 17, this one is a 7x plus 1, and this one's an x minus 3. So guess what? I just need to multiply these two together since they don't match. I need to make sure that both binomials, both factors, are accounted for. So on the bottom of this one, I had to multiply by x minus 3. So on the top, I multiply by the same thing. This was a 6, but I added this 7x minus or plus 1, so I have to do the same thing to the top. And now I simplify. So this is a 2x minus 6. Now remember, this is really like, it's a minus, but it's really like a plus negative or something, so this negative 6 gets distributed to both. So negative 42x minus 6. All over blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then we combine. So what is 2 minus 42? Well, that is a negative 40x and then minus 12. Now that's going to factor. I'm going to go ahead and factor that just because I know there's a number that goes into both of those, and I think that number is 4. So 4, I'll take out a negative 4 just because. Okay, so that would be a 10x plus 3. Now don't get excited and be like, oh, I see a 3 and a 3 and an x and an x. Okay, they have to match exactly or you cannot cancel anything. So that is it. You're done right there. Number 18. Okay, I'm going to actually recopy this whole thing because it looks a little weird at first glance. Okay, these are interesting because we need a common denominator. This is a 2 and this is a 4. Now the lowest number that both of those can go into is a 4, but then this one also has this extra mess over here. So this whole thing right here is my common denominator, so I'm going to write it twice. And then this is where it's tricky because this was a 2, but since I've turned it into this, I have to think about, like, what did I do to 2 to turn it into that? Well, I multiplied this 2 by 2 to get that. So I'm going to recopy this 3 and say, wait, I multiplied it times 2, but also this mess that's in the parentheses. Now this one didn't change at all, so I can just recopy that, okay? And now we simplify. This is really a 6. And then I'm going to distribute. So 30x minus 36. Now over here, there's a minus in the middle. Be careful. This is plus, minus, minus, okay? So this is really minus x minus 4. And it's all over blah, 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 blah. And now we do combining like terms. So 30, so that's a 29x minus 40 over this. And from here, you're done. I mean, nothing factors, nothing's going to cancel, and that's all she wrote. Number 19. We're almost there, people. Number 19. Okay, the common denominator on this, since those are two very different denominators, you're just going to multiply them. So it needs to be that for the bottom of both. Now the first one had an n plus 2 and I multiplied by 5, so I need to multiply the top by 5 also. This one was missing the n plus 2, so I need to multiply the top by n plus 2, okay? So from here, we just work it out. Common denominator, I'm going to recopy once, and then distribute the top, that's a plus sign. Distribute this one, and then put everybody together. So I'm getting 4n squared plus 13n plus 25 all over 5 times n plus 2. Is this going to factor? Yuck. 2, 5, 20, that doesn't work. 5, 5, 20, that doesn't work. Nope, that doesn't factor. So that's your final answer. Number 20, last one. I'm going to write this over 1 because it had nothing under it. I'm going to recopy this one. Okay, so now what? Now, the common denominator, since that's just a 1, it's now going to be these two. So what will happen is I'm going to put an n minus 6 and an n plus 1 here. I'm going to recopy this fella over here, which means the top gets to stay a 3. But over here, since I'm multiplying the 1 by all of this, yikes, I need to multiply the top by all of this. So it's going to be 2n times all that same stuff. And this one is not fun. This is the one I'm glad we're quitting on this, because I'm going to have to I'm going to have to FOIL all this, but then also multiply by 2n. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to ignore the 2n, and let me go ahead and FOIL this. So that's an n squared and minus 5n minus 6 plus 3 all over n minus 6 times n plus 1. Now I'm not finished. I now get to distribute that to all three terms. 2n cubed minus 10n squared minus 12n plus 3 all over this. And that is all she wrote. I can't take a 2 out, I can't take an n out, and I'm pretty dang sure that's not going to factor anyways, so that would be my final answer. Alright, hopefully you guys did okay. We'll make up some more fun ones when I see ya.